Okay, here we go. It's one of the first times I've been in here, so I can show you around a little bit. So, I really love, as you can see, the floors are all native remove wood that's been completely revarnished. They did a beautiful job with the floors. Let me change this so you can see a little better. And so if you come in off to the left-hand side, we have a living room here. And the first thing I want to tell you is that if you're watching in the US, the rooms in most New Zealand houses, especially ones that are older like this one, this was built in 1950, are not large by what, like US size, for example. So a lot of our stuff is not going to fit into the house. So we've had to really downsize. Before we moved down here in 2013, I got rid of half of the stuff that we owned. I spent an entire year cleaning out our house in Holland, Michigan, because I had been here on sabbatical and I knew that most of what we had would not fit into an average house. And that was true. We've had to downsize even more over the last month when we found out unexpectedly that we needed to move. It's a long story that some people know, but we were in the US and we were in Hawaii where we got the news that our rental agent had decided they wanted all of their tenants to move. We have a house that we rented, and then there's a one-bedroom flat that's attached to the house. And we're all being asked to move because, quote, renovations. And I want to tell you that the laws for renters in New Zealand are not great. It's an owner biased society, and a lot of that is cultural as well, that it's always been like the dream to have your own home. And what's happening, I won't give you a long lecture on this, but because the housing, it is a crisis because there's such a big housing shortage all over the country, particularly in the cities. There's a lot more people renting now, but fortunately the laws aren't great for protecting renters. So legally, they were able to tell us to leave because our lease was coming. We had what's called a fixed term lease. And if it's a fixed term lease and it's coming to an end, they can tell you to leave in as little as 6 weeks and sometimes even less. And the reason was for, quote, renovations. And that is also a term they were legally able to use. But I'm not going to get into it here, but there's actually no real renovations happening. That's how they were able to kick us out. But a long story short is we had 6 weeks to both find a house in a very, very tight market. It's not like Michigan where we live, where houses are on the market for years. We're talking houses typically go within days if they're halfway decent, and a lot of cash buyers on the market. So we came back to New Zealand in mid-January knowing we were under a massive time crunch. And really, most people do not have that luxury of most people are not able to find something very quickly. Searching for months, going to auctions, putting in bids on tenders is more common. But I could go on for hours about it. But in a nutshell, what some of you know is that we both found this house, we bid on it, and we got it within days, which is almost unheard of. So the first thing I want to say, let me just turn the camera around. The first thing I want to say is that we are so thankful for this happening. It's just been a miracle on many different fronts. It's almost unheard of that people are able to find a house as quickly as we did, particularly a house. It's an awesome suburb. It's a beautiful part of Wellington. Really quiet. The house has just been beautifully done up. And we also want to say we're so thankful for everyone, both here and elsewhere, who has been so helpful to us to check in how we're doing, bringing meals, just to knowing that we were packing, offering to help, just sitting down and talking with us about what it's like buying a house in New Zealand, which is things work a little differently with the home buying process. And people that just kept checking in to see how we're going. People offered us places to stay, and then so many different ways. So first of all, I want to say how thankful we are for not only finding this place and really counting our blessings, but also for you've been just so wonderful to help us through it. And it has been very stressful at times. And it's even once we had our offer accepted, the housing market here is very tight, so there were backup offers on the house for more money than what we were able to offer. So the whole time it was very stressful at times, but we got the keys yesterday, so we're very excited. So let me show you around. Okay, so this is the living room. It's got a wood burning stove, which we're probably not going to use. We're too lazy to mess with wood. That's the view that you can see. And not all of our furniture is going to fit in here. Some of it I'll show you is going to go in the sleep out another room. So we come back into the foyer, and then you make another left, and we have a brand new designer kitchen, which I'm absolutely thrilled. As many people know, I love to cook. I love having my own kitchen. I have always wanted a fan convection oven, a modern oven. I'm so excited. It's nicer than the one I had in the US. And to have a range top that's not, we have this electric cooktop at the rental place. I hated it because I don't like cooking with electric, so I love the cook. It's got awesome space, great places for my cookbooks, and just really nice shelving and nice counter bench tops. And really, I'm just super excited about it. I can't even tell you. And to even have 2 sinks, oh my goodness. I've been living with 1 sink and it made it so hard to do dishes. I actually like doing dishes. So we had a dishwasher in Michigan. To be honest with you, I'm probably not even going to use the dishwasher because I really like the process of doing dishes. I already bought a bottle of red wine to celebrate. As soon as we get moved in, we're moving in officially on Monday. It's Saturday. So just looking around, the table's going to fill up a lot of the space. It's, like I said, this is not a big house. So we're really thinking carefully. We're going to make a map this weekend where everything's going to go. Let me save that door for later. So you're walking down the hall, and but first we are thinking this is going to be our guest room. So we have 2 places where guests are going to be able to stay. This is going to have a day bed in it along this wall, and we think the day bed's going to be here, and a night table here, and then we're not sure we're going to put my chest of drawers here because there's not enough room. So, American viewers, look how small the closets are. Yay, that's considered a big closet. So we're going to split our clothes among 3 different closets, and I'm determined not to get this place cluttered. And then just going down the hall, we got a little closet that really needs it. I don't know why a linen closet doesn't have a shelf in it, but we have a list. In fact, this weekend I got to start making a list of stuff that needs done to the house because the people gutted it when they flipped it. So I've got to get shelving put in there. And then this we're thinking is going to be our bedroom. We really like, so looking out here, we have a carport, which we're so excited about. Good, we don't have to park on the street anymore, and our car was vandalized on the street. So we're missing a car door that we had to have replaced. Let me just say we're moving into a little bit better area. Like, we really love this area a lot. But we really love having our own property just off, and we have this carport. So our bedroom will be looking upon here. And then we have a view. Timothy really wants to put the bed against this wall so we can look out onto the hills. And we're not going to have room for all our furniture in here. We're thinking the dresser here, probably a chest of drawers or a small side table. And there is a closet here, but it's quite small. So this is probably going to be Timothy's closet, probably. I'm trying to get us to get rid of some of our stuff. And then this back here is going to be my study. We're not putting my bookshelves in here. There's no room for it. I've got a pretty big size closet that I'm going to store as much stuff as I can. And my piano is going to go against this wall. So just to give you a better sense of the room, this is what it is. This is on the back of the house. You're looking onto the carport, some of the garden, and so my desk, piano, and probably I've got a wardrobe that I'm going to put in here that currently functions as a linen closet. So psyched about our bathroom. They have completely redid the bathroom. We've never had a towel warmer before. It does need a medicine cabinet and a mirror, so that's on our list to get done, but we love the sink. And I'm so excited to have a bathtub again. So we got a old-fashioned bath. The house was built in 1950s, but just really nice flooring in the bathroom. They've done a great job with the house. And then, because it's an older New Zealand house, we have a water closet, which we're also really excited about because it's very convenient. Eventually, what I'm going to do, you see I've already gotten some, it really grosses me out, like taking like toilet brushes between houses, so I bought new, come in here. Eventually I think I might put a little basin against this wall, maybe a little cabinet and some place to hang a towel, but that's way in the future. Right now, to be honest with you all, right now we're dealing with the idea that this house does not have any insulation or heat. So we are looking into hopefully getting ducted heating here that can also be air conditioning. And we need insulation on the bottom because that helps with the moisture. There's no basement on the house. And we probably also are looking at it in a full house ventilation system to keep, because moisture is a big problem in a lot of the houses. And I tend to get respiratory problems that are like colds when the house gets really damp. So I really need to have air circulating. And then our other bigger project coming up, well, it's not big, but it needs to be done. There's some pipes in the crawl space beneath the house that don't meet code. And so as part of the condition of buying the house, we've agreed to make those changes in the next 3 months. So that's all the homeowner stuff is. We're facing all that stuff again. Well, let me take you out. So being an older house, I first discovered this when I lived in Western Australia. Laundry in traditional like New Zealand and Australian homes, the laundry is always outside. So when you come out from the house into this area, and it's like just it is a really old-fashioned laundry room. And then they've done up the inside of the room, but some parts of it are still kind of old. And then I started moving some of my stuff in. We've got a nice basin here. We're going to put our washing machine. Most people don't have dryers. Surprisingly, there's no clothesline in this house, which I guess it was taken out. So you come back out of the laundry room, got a little window out to the back garden. And then we're going to put a clothesline. Now, I'm not going to take you up the terrace garden unless you really want to see it. But we have a huge property out in back. I probably will take you up. But let me show you something really cool before I take you back there. Come out onto the deck. I don't have a key for the outside of the sleep out, so I can't take you in that way. So we've got to go in through the garage. So I gotta say, number one, I am so excited. Like a normal person, I could keep tools and all this extra clutter. I can keep it in a garage. I can't tell you how excited I am to have that stuff out of the house. I've lived in clutter for 5 years, and you can see I've already started moving stuff. I'm gonna put my bottling or canning supplies. I brought a lot of this from the US because these are really expensive here, but I'm gonna put my gardening stuff out here. If you are in the US, they used to sell it at Meijer, but a New Zealand brand is called Echo Store, and I really love their products. I buy it in bulk, and I'm gonna put that out here. But let me show you one thing that is so cool about this house. We love it. So it's off the garage, and you could also enter through the slider door, but I just don't have a key for that myself. So we have what's called a sleep out. So we're thinking, and both in Michigan and our rental house here, Timothy never had a place to call his own. He's never had a man cave to spread out his stuff and his electronics, so it was always in the living room. And I always like to keep a living room kind of formal, you know, a place to sit and read, but he really has never had a place to call his own. And he wants that. Totally fair. I said totally fair. I totally get it. So this back part of the sleep out, we're thinking is going to be his area. And then we're thinking, I have huge bookshelves with all my academic books, and the house honestly is not big enough for them. They're filled with clutter, and they take up it just would really overwhelm the room. So we're thinking along this wall. So this room is going to be a guest area as well. So we're going to put some kind of really nice outdoor daybed here, or sofa that can double as a sleeping place. And then people visiting can have their own space here. And it's totally a nice room. We'll keep it really nice. The only thing is, eventually we might put in a bathroom here. That's the one bad thing that the sleep out doesn't have. But we're very thankful to have a space like this, and to be able to find a house that had so much of these things in it as fast as we did. We're incredibly fortunate. So let me take you up and show you how large our property is. I mean, for what we got, it's really amazing. So we've got a deck that comes out here. So unfortunately in Michigan, I sold all of my wrought iron furniture. I had I can never say the word, Adirondack chairs. I sold all of that kind of regretting it now, but I didn't want to mess with getting anything in that had touched soil, so I got to rebuy everything again or find secondhand. So you come up these steps. So apparently I met one of the neighbors, and this used to be an incredible terrace garden. It's fallen into disrepair, but that is going to be a huge project for me to bring this back. I've never done a terrace garden. I've done English gardens. I've done native wildflower gardens. I've done more kind of shade gardens before. I've done gardens with bird baths as a feature. I've done walkway and path with like a stone path, but I've never done a terrace garden before. So especially thinking of native plants. So I've got a lot of books on New Zealand native plants. We're going to try to incorporate that as much as you can see here. Very different than what you would find in Michigan. And I also want to do an edible garden as much as possible. So the people that lived here before did have a vegetable garden, and so some of the plants are still here. There's some rhubarb. We found today there's another path that goes down that side, and then this apparently used to be like a terrace seating area. And then there's rhubarb that's here as well. I found up here, but see, if you go up here, now this is what's really deceptive. You look up and you're like, hey, it keeps going, it keeps going. Keep going. There's a compost bin. Down there on the very far is a plum tree, and it just keeps going up and up and up. Keeps going higher, higher. We did not realize how much property was here. As you can see, it's kind of fallen, and it ends at this fence line back here, and there's a compost bin that apparently belongs to us. That's back here. So this would what you'd call a bush garden. It's a lot of native plants that have grown up. And I'll just take you along the back. As you can see the neighbors. Let's actually go down the other side. So we discovered another path down here today. Apparently, this was quite an extravagant garden in its time. So there's another, and I'm so appreciative they mowed the grass for us. I thought, oh no, it's going to be another. We're both feeling overwhelmed. We're really thankful and excited, but we're like, oh no, we're going to have to start yard work immediately. There's a plum tree there. There's a lemon tree also that's further down. So you kind of go down here, the back side of the garage. I'm so excited to have a garden like this and to plant it. And when we were in Hawaii, one of the homestays that we did, they had an amazing Zen terrace garden, and I've got so many ideas. I can't wait to spend the next few years just researching and doing. You could see I want to do so much with this. I haven't decided yet. I want to do definitely edible gardens, fruit trees. I can go tropical plants, fig trees maybe, citrus, but I definitely want to do a terraced kind of structure. I might have to get some of it rebuilt because it's fallen into this. From what I understand from the neighbor, it just became too much for the last owner. They became quite elderly, and that's one reason they sold it to the developer. And come back on our deck. And this is really the edge of our property here, and it goes down to the other side of the house. And then, as I've mentioned to a lot of people, when you visit, you can either stay in the house on a day bed, or you can stay in the sleep out and have your own privacy. And we have some plans for that, probably a bathroom somewhere down the line, and you have your own privacy. So thank you so much for taking this tour with me. I just can't even express how excited we are to have a house here. It's really hard for me to describe, but housing in New Zealand, especially in the cities, is extremely expensive, and it's really hard to get into the housing market. And we had always talked about buying, but we didn't know if it was going to happen. And basically we were in a situation where it really made the most sense. And we are just so thankful, and we're really counting our blessings how it worked out, because we know a lot of people who aren't able to find housing right now. And I can tell you that when they showed our rental house, there were queues or lines of people that were there to see it. I'm not kidding you. And they would arrive like an hour beforehand. And I just felt my heart just, as many of you know, my past research is on housing in capitalist societies. So this is an issue I really want to write about eventually once I've had the chance to like process everything that's happened to us recently. But I'm really passionate about people having access to housing. And really my heart does go out to people that are really struggling, especially with the cost of housing here. And so I feel really thankful that we have found this place. I'm always going to remember, I know Timothy too, we're always going to remember that. And one of our hopes is that we can use it to help others, like maybe, I'm not sure in which way, but I hope that we can use it in a way that it can really uplift others. Maybe that's having people over, or maybe if someone, maybe our sleep out, I'm not sure yet, but we're really thankful. And thank you so much for everything that you've done. And you know who you are, who've supported us. It's meant so much to us. We're really excited for our new home, and we also really appreciate our home on Peruta Street. It was a great home for us at the time. Timothy did a fantastic job finding it without knowing anything about Lower Hutt, because he came here before I arrived back in 2013. And when I was on my sabbatical before that, I didn't have a car, so I didn't know anything about the Hutt Valley or anything. So it was a wonderful place for us at the time, but it really was time to move on. So thank you so much for watching. And if you live close, I hope that I can have you over. And I love to cook for people, which is something I've really missed doing over the last 5 years. And if you live far, people, look around you. Come visit us. Come visit us. It's time. It's time. And we can't wait to show you the area. You'll absolutely love it. So thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. And Timothy, he's not here right now. He went home to take a nap. He's just exhausted because we're just working at the same time, full time, and trying to manage the move. But thank you so much. And he does as well. Thanks.